What up, my friends, and welcome to the Friend Lab. We're your host and good friends, Bryce the Third.
I'm Liz McKean, and if you're here to cook up some friendship.
Keep that.
We know that it's hard to make friends, and it can be a challenge to keep friends and be a friend. So building connections in your life is something that you're looking to get better at. You're in the right place.
Friendship and connection and relationships of all kinds are the best kind of challenge. It's the thing that makes being a person worth being a person. We're excited to share our friendship with you.
So throw your lab coats on and let's get this experiment jumping. In the Friend Lab.
Here we go.
What up, y'all? Welcome to the Friend Lab. I am Bryce the Third.
I am Liz McKean.
And Liz and I, we sent each other this reel. We didn't send it to each other. What she did was she sent it to me, and then I tried to create this little thing where we could have this little shared container. And so in creating that thing, I sent it to her. But little did I know that she had already created a thing for the Friend Lab for her to send. So anyways, it was this reel.
We did the same thing.
Because we're friends, just like, we did the same thing of showing up today and not having a specific topic. That's why we're going to this reel, which is by Jay Shetty, and we're going to cue it up here in a second and let you all watch that. Matter of fact, check it out right here. Boop.
Real friends don't keep score, they keep showing up. Real friends don't feel threatened, they get motivated. Real friends don't compete, they cheer and then chase their own dreams. Real friends don't wish it was them, they're glad it's you. Because with real friends, your wins feel shared and your losses never feel alone.
Okay, I shouldn't seen the reel, and we're sitting here and we're watching it back after the confusion of sending it back and forth to each other, and like who originally sent it, and it's like the Spider-Man meme of Jay Shetty real sends, and I am listening back to it, and the first thing that came to my mind, just probably because of the season that I'm in, is like, it's kind of like, well, I'm from 12 Step, and 12 Step, the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, is like written in really old timey language, and there's section in there where it says, frothy emotional appeal seldom suffices. Now, this is a consecutive usage of words that I would definitely not know how to use in that way if it wasn't for me reading it in this book. But I know what it means because the book is a book that put me in tune with my spirit, and I know that frothy emotional appeal seldom suffices, which means that like the airy fairy fluffy is words and it sounds good and motivational, stand on the podium and inspire people type energy doesn't connect with me because I need the actual work. But to everybody's credit, including Jay Shetty, I like it. I like the reel, and I think a lot of people need to hear what real friends are, and maybe have like some basic understanding as to like what real friends are and what real friends aren't. But what do you think, Liz?
Well, I love that you just were like this close to having your pinky right in the air when you just took a sip of your can. Well, I am not 12 step. I have beef with many things within 12 step. And also, it's so interesting because it's like when you're saying what you're saying, I hear you 100%. And it's like, and I agree with the words that you're saying, that is like, words that are just meant to, tickle your fancy without anything behind them are bullshit. And also, but that in itself is bullshit because like, sorry, I'm not saying that what you said was bullshit. I'm not saying you're bullshit, but like,
bring it on. Hey,
but that concept is inherently like shutting the door on what else could be there. Cause yeah, like if I had never heard of Jay Shetty before, which by the way, if you have never heard of Jay Shetty, give him a Google because those eyes, my God, that man could probably
I was nodding like this until you got to the eyes.
He also is a lovely human, and I actually like his podcast. But those eyes, whew. Anyways, now I just lost my entire train of thought. Rewind, pausing. She's back. She's back online. Oh my God, I just could have taken us so off track right there because I had a whole eye thing to go into, but we're going to pin that for another day. So if I had never heard of Jay Shetty and I came across that thing where that's talking about how real friends essentially, celebrate each other's wins and support each other in their losses. And there's just like not the jealousy, the ego, the more for you means less for me, like all that stuff. And some people need to hear that more than other people seasonally, etc. But like, yeah, those are just words. But also I've listened to and read a lot of his other work, and I know the spirit and the heart and everything that is behind that. But if I just saw that reel and I was like, that's just fucking, frothy, what a weird word to use, by the way, frothy emotional stuff and nothing behind it, it's like, that's just such an assumption, because everything is just words unless unless you look deeper. And for sure, there's stuff out there that if you look deeper into that person or their work or actually the life they're living, like there might not be work behind it. If you have a cross stitch on your wall that says live, love, laugh, that might just be words. But also, until you know the person, you're not going to know. So words can be a doorway, and also like how cool that it can be interpreted different for every person. And so I think, I don't know, I don't want to dismiss something just because, yeah, that sounds like airy fairy words, which also you've been saying airy fairy so much lately. I want to dig into that a little bit. Like, where did that come from? Anyways,
well.
Oh, we're gonna get in a fight today. This is gonna be a good episode.
I would say real friends understand that everybody is looking at life through the lens of not only the experiences that they've had, but also like where they may be right now currently in this season. And
that doesn't even have to be friends. I feel like that's a nice thing to assume about people. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to assume about people, but it's also a great thing to have handy when it comes to like building a relationship and a friendship, because I can hear that you heard me say what I said and consider the lens of which you come from, and it's like the beat that you've had with 12 step and like different experiences that you've had that will lead to hearing what I said and interpreted it as I'm saying that it's bullshit. I ain't say it was bullshit. I just said that, like, for me, especially in this season, it brings about this thing that I've read in a big book that says frothy emotional pill seldom suffices, because I hear this reel and I'm like, duh, of course that's what real friends do. Duh. You know what I'm saying? Duh. Real friends don't hate on each other. Cool, dude. You know what I'm saying? But also I'm an artist too, where like there's things that I've created for my business that like I don't necessarily need this, but those be the things that like take off because it's so simple and it's delivery, because not a lot of people aren't there. But like for me in my life right now, and the connections that are important to me, like, duh, you got to have that figured out before you get here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't, at this point, like new connections, we don't have conversations around, are you mad that I got something that you didn't get, or like there's certain conversations I'm not having in new connections right now, because it's kind of like, hey, I'm in a space where like you already gotta have this figured out when you got here, and it's not like not a diss to where you may be at in life. It's just an advocating for where it is that I am in life, And so no, I'm not saying it's bullshit, and I'm not like throwing a baby out with the bathwater, and nor in my interpretation is that was being said in the big book. But for me, what's being said in the big book is that, hey, keep coming back, or meeting makers make it, or da 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 da, like, or just keep swimming. That shit don't hold me down. Right now I'm in a place in my life where it's like, I need to be reminded of that, because like, where's the fucking work? Like, where's the work? Like, oh, okay, don't run when you feel uncomfortable, when you disagree with Liz about some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like lean into it, open yourself up, be open, honest, transparent, and allow for yourself to be seen, as well as hold space for what it is that she's communicating, and see if you can see her at a deeper level, unlike you ever had before. Like, that's what the real would have said if it was like in the space that I'm in. And so that's why it feels frothy to me, because it's like, oh, this is the shareable content that we create that everybody can connect with, and maybe might be the on-ramp to like these deeper connections. But that's not what the Friend Lab is. The Friend Lab, we diving all the way in. And so now this is how deep we going. And I think it's frothy for me in my season of life, but I hope you all were able to pull something from it. And yeah, just like Liz said, like Jay Shetty, I really rock with a lot of the stuff he creates. His podcast is super dope. He got one with Big Sean that's like really dope. Um,
In his
yeah,
eyes.
and the eyes. The eyes,
Yeah.
she said. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, to all those things. And also, I think sometimes that frothy, all right, I'm going to stop using that word because every time I kind of like gag a little every time I say the word.
Me too. Me
What,
too.
like, yes, when it comes to those, that's a, like, there's a line there. Like, I don't want friendships, honestly, certainly not the ones that I'm going to consider like true friendships that is not a given, that I celebrate your success. There's not like a jealousy, all those things that we just talked about. But also, I think there's still value in sharing that stuff, and it's not just because it's necessarily a thing that is going to attract eyes or his eyes. I'm gonna stop. Like my husband might listen to this, who has my favorite eyes, by the way. I think there's so much value in both friendships and like just relationships in general, in understanding that you're going to come from things from a different point of view, from different experiences. You might not agree. um you might not understand each other. Like there might be something that you say that I interpret differently, and then we have to have the conversation about it, just like we just did, and that's fantastic. I also think that like there's just an eternal inner work that's happening in order for that to even be possible, and that requires, I don't know, just acknowledgement that like there's a reason that that has to be said. And it's because, and there's a reason that like grasps people, because most of us have had the experience of a friendship that wasn't that way. And I cannot imagine there's a single human that has not been the one who has that feeling of jealousy, or has that feeling of like, oh, you did something exciting. Like I'm so happy for you. And also and I'm that might be the only conversation we're having about how happy I am for you and how much I want to lift you up. And then also to know that the voice that might pop up on the inside that says like, well, shit, why didn't I get that? You know what I mean? Is something that it's like, oh, let me just like acknowledge that, figure out like what's going on in there that has everything to do with me and not to do with the friend, so that it doesn't come out in some other weird wacky way, because that's not my values, but that is also just a very human thing to come up. And I don't know, I just think there's a self-discovery there in addition to the relationship discovery that can happen, and that can also, be something that's going to be valuable for one person and not for the other, and we can all see it differently. And I just really love the idea of acknowledging that, like, and even celebrating that, like, oh my God, look around in my friendships. Like, of like, to be able to say duh is like so exciting. That just shows how much your relationships are like that's something to be really, I think, proud of, even to be like, wow, look at these relationships that I've built and participated in my life, where I feel so celebrated by the people. I keep using that word and it's just not the right word, but celebrated, sure, by the people that are in my life. When I do something great, I feel genuinely thrilled for them when good things happen to them. And if something hard happens to either of us, we can bring it to the table and there will just be pure, support. And I don't know, I don't want to forget that stuff. I don't want to forget the dust stuff.
I
Bring on
think
the airy fairy.
I think as you were talking, I'm thinking like affirmation. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, the shit that I'm like, duh. One for me as a self check, like anytime I'm like, duh, it's Mr. Ego talking. If anybody is listening to my music, it's probably Sam. Sam with two S's, sad, scared, angry man. Um, because we only know what we practice.
Yeah.
And so if I'm like, duh, that's the I know, and the I know is the ego. And it's like,
Mm,
okay, well then maybe I need this affirmation,
yeah.
or maybe ego gets flared up too a lot of times when like I actually need to look at something. And so he'll be like, duh, and then be like, whoa, what was it? Well, wait a minute, buddy, what is that? Like, are you happy with your friendships right now, or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So what I'm hearing when you sharing is affirmation, and as a content creator, influencer, we make a lot of content that affirms these things that we already quote unquote know, but so that
Mhm.
we can continue to spread that energy because it could be easy to forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could
I
be
like
easy to
that.
forget, and so you don't forget. Go follow Jay Shetty. Hit the subscribe button on the friend lib.
I know.
Uh,
And also, Jay Shetty will be awaiting your check for this great PR we just did for you.
well,
He's had some crazy interviews lately. He's like interviewed like Madonna. The Emma, did you listen to the Emma Watson?
I've heard one Jay Shetty podcast interview, and it was Big Sean, and I probably got like one third of the way through. So please
They're
don't.
really long. The Emma Watson one was really good because she doesn't do a lot of interviews. She's the one who played Hermione in Harry Potter,
Uh,
and she really kind of stepped away from the spotlight for a lot of reasons that she just has so much kind of transparency around in that episode. I don't know, she just talks about all the, like, the work she's done personally and in her relationships, and it just really it was one of those things that I kept thinking I was gonna stop listening because it went on for so long, and by the end, I was like, "I'm so glad I stuck it out because there are just so
mhm.
many gems." So, highly recommend.
Mm. Well, since we're recommending stuff, um, also go check out. I think it's called Den of Kings. It's on YouTube. It's Kirk Franklin, which I don't think Liz knows who that is, as well as a couple of my friends. I say Kirk Franklin, and they're like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "How do you not know who Kirk Franklin is? Like, y'all ain't never hear Stomp? Well, my people say Stomp. GP, are you with me? Oh yeah, we at the church. We ain't going nowhere. GP. Anyways, we gonna put
I
Liz hip.
really thought your phone was gonna fall right over just then.
We gonna put Liz hip. It's called Den of Kings, I think, and he's on there with NLE Chopper, Kev on stage, the
Oh, I
good
know
band.
him.
Oh, you know Kev on stage? Okay, so
Mhm.
we
Yeah,
talked
I
about
follow him, I like him.
the passing of his brother, who was his manager. Oh, who else was on there? Ray J was on there. It was a couple other people that was on there, but it was a really interesting episode, especially for like black men. But just for people in general, go check that out. That'll be good for the listeners of our show. Um, but yeah, Liz, what's new in your life? What's up? Let's have a little friend catch up. What is going on?
Um, I'm actively building my coaching business, which is exciting. I added a new element recently. I'm certified now in hypnotherapy, which I'm
Hey.
so pumped about. And yeah, I'm gonna pull in all my stuff, like the work I've done in recovery and the work I've, done in the healthcare industry. Like I now have this hypnotherapy tool. I have the yoga tool, which I use in ways I think that, when you think yoga, you think downward dog, and like there's just so much more than that. I mean, you've heard me. I have a metaphor. Everything could be yoga can be a metaphor for literally everything in my mind. Um and then, as far as just like coaching tools, I've been doing different types of coaching, I feel like my whole adult life. And just to bring that all together is gonna be super fun. But it's not super fun. I will tell you it's not super fun. Website building is not super fun. So I've been having those a lot of come to Jesus moments with myself where it's like, okay, I get so excited about the stuff that I'm so excited about. I can build out all the ways that I can help people, all the messaging I want to do. And then when it comes to the parts that I know I can do, I think this is a pretty typical ADHD experience where it's just like there's just certain things that I will run into a wall and I could do much harder things before I can do this thing. Cause even though I know I can do it, there's just some like 1,000 armies couldn't make me take that first step forward. So I'm working through some of those harder parts that aren't like hard as like just wouldn't be the word people would use for I think a lot of the stuff. And it's been a very self-learning experience, which I know that on the other side I'll be grateful for. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Have you heard about vibe coding?
That I don't know what it is, but it sounds familiar. Like maybe you've said it to me before.
Yeah, maybe I have. I don't really know what it is, but I guess it's like you can code using chat prompts. So like, it's like AI chat prompts, and you can basically develop websites without having to have
Oh, you
knowledge of
did tell me about
coding.
this, which means I've complained about the website building to you prior.
Squarespace got something going on, that I kind of looked at, and it's pretty basic, but kind of along the lines where it's like, hey, I want this, and then you could build it, and some other things, some tools out there that can maybe make it easier. But
I don't even think that's I mean, thank you very much because I will tuck that into my toolbox, but I don't think it's even a matter at this point of having the right tools. It's just sitting. Can you relate to this where there's just certain things that it's like, I'm going to sit down and do this, and I might have all the tools, all the easy buttons, everything, all the pieces to put together, but I can't get myself to sit down. Like that first step that has to happen to do it is like the thing that's hard. It's not even the doing it.
No, I can't relate to that at all.
I think you're lying.
Oh my gosh, I deal with that a ton.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't know what it is. But I think I'm getting better. Or you got like, certain philosophies like eat that frog, like do the hardest thing out of the gate, and it makes everything else easier. Uh, what I what I've been able to do is hitch upon the momentum of what I enjoy,
Yeah.
and I'll do the things that are challenging but enjoyable, and do that first, and then off of that momentum, it's like, okay, let me dive into this thing,
Because
versus like leading with
then you're
the
already sitting.
yeah, instead of leading with the thing that is the hardest, and I've been forcing myself to sit down, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I don't know, because you gotta think with a website, it's not just a website. It's like, I mean, I know you're working with your coach, but it's also a conversation as to like what am I predominantly leading with? Like, how do I tell the story of what it is that I offer? Like, how do I tell the story of who it is that I am? And that's like more existential than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like this, it's part of the relationship that you're building, when there's things that people are gonna experience before they experience you face to face, like, yeah, it's part of the relationship, and that's so important to me.
yeah, and there's a big part of that for me, at least, that's been like, hey, website is dope. And I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some business coaches who want to come and talk to me because I could always use a little bit more income. But it's like sometimes I've had to put down the website and pick up like the experience. And then that has led me to like, okay, I need my website to do this, or this is what I want. And
Yeah.
we kind of had this conversation offline the other day where it's like, this is the experience that I would like for people to have, or this is like the main thing that I want to happen. And then I'll pick the website back up, or the branding back up, or the brand story back up, but like really just being out here in the streets and like just touching people in a way that is like, okay, no, this is what aligns with the services that I offer, that people desire, and that fulfill both my needs and the community's needs in a way where, okay, this needs to be highlighted on the website, and how do we do that?
Totally. Yeah, no, and actually that's been such a and this is usually how it goes. There's been such a benefit to the me not being able to sit down because it's sort of like if you tell me go do the dishes, I would probably be like, oh, it sounds let me just pick up my phone, whatever, But if man, when I was in grad school and I was writing papers, the house has never been cleaner. Cause like if I have a thing I don't want to do more, I'm gonna
Mhm.
do the dishes. I'm gonna do it's amazing. And so there's a lot of stuff, a lot of foundational stuff that I've done while I've been not doing, like website is one of, it's just the one I'm landing on. But and if I had built this website when I had in my head that I needed to, like in July, it would not, I would be redoing it right now, anyways, because now I have such a more solid understanding of the unique way that I work with people, like, because I just started doing it. You know what I mean? Like, and I know what I want to express. I understand so much better, like, what's going to be of value and how to, I had to practice saying the things out loud so much, in order to get it to be able to like and there was even some work that I needed to do over the last few months that I can now teach better. Like you teach the things that you've done, that you've gone through. And there's so many like my whole thing is helping you make your life a place you want to be. And I have done that 1,000 times over my life and I have all these tools and also I had to do it again in order to get to the place and I'm like, "Oh, that's right. This is the way that I want to talk about that now." And I'm it's like all my dishes got done. So that's exciting.
At least at the very least, you know that when you got something that's looming over your life, that your house will be spickety clean.
Yeah. Well, and also, like metaphorically. So that's often the case, even outside of the house cleaning
You know?
part of the program. How about you? What's going on with you?
Oh, nothing. Just life forcing me to be more grown than I've ever been, and me resisting, and the suffering that comes with the resistance until I realize that I can't resist life and I have to submit to what's being shown.
Oh, you started with nothing and then get all those words followed.
Yeah, this like I think like every aspect of my life, fatherhood, professional, creative, financial, the change in the seasons, like there is friction in a way that is rubbing against what I built thus far in a way that is proving it to be inadequate for what's coming next. Um, and at my worst, like I'm a grumpy, frumpy, resentful, like dragging my ass through the next hour because like I don't even want to be here doing any of this shit type person. Um, and right now in this very moment at my best, I'm like, this sucks, but it's cool because like this is life, you know? And so th- there's a lot of gratitude, but even when I speak of gratitude, that's literally like one of the tools that I've had to like double down on deploying because it's like, hey, not only do you have to use your tools more than you've been using your tools, but you gotta like I gotta submit to the process in a way that I don't think I've never had to submit to the process, and so that's uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable. It's not like nice is not one of the words that I would use for it.
Hmm.
And even in like leaning on my friends, uh, that's been interesting in a way because there's these moments where you know I want to call and I know I could call. Okay, so instead of let me give you an example because I'm tying it back into like relationship and friendships, letting people in, but also understanding that like shit, the biggest relationship that I have in my life is the one I have with myself. Last night, I called my really good friend when I was going through something. More, more things had popped up in a day where there was already a lot of things, and then this thing popped up. And then I'm just like, my go-to is like, I call my friend, call these people. And I go to call her and then she don't pick up. And so I leave a message like, I'm glad you didn't pick up because I really need to be talking to God right now. And then so about 10 minutes later, she said, I'm not gonna call you back because I don't want to get in between you and God. And I was like, shut up. Just fucking call me back. But then I was like, you're right. Because I was in the midst of like deploying the things that you deploy when you're back against the wall. And like, this is where wisdom is cultivated. This is where strengths are built. Um, I'm having this experience and I appreciate her for not calling back and then texting in that way. And, there's certain parts in life, at least for me, where it's like, I could have the best friends in the world, and I think maybe some of y'all might be listening to our show, like, okay, how do I cultivate these relationships? Because I be going through shit, and sometimes I don't have nobody to call, and I'd like to have somebody to call, and like friends aren't the answer. You know what I'm saying? Like friends aren't the answer. It, I think they're a side effect. I think they're a side effect of the relationship that we continue to build with ourselves. Like true, genuine friends, like they're not the answer. Anything that I've ever approached as being the answer is never good enough for me any fucking way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just need a friend that can show up like this and be like this whenever I need them to be like that. And then like, because I'm looking for my friends to be the answer, you'll never be what I need you to be because I'm a I'm a freaking freak. You know what I'm saying? Like as a kid, talking about friendships. Shout out to Demetrius, man. I don't know if you ever heard of the Universal Circus. If you haven't heard of the Universal Circus, you probably heard of like Barnum and Bailey's, or they pop up in your city and you go. And we went, so it's like that, but it's like a black owned circus. So it's the Universal Circus. And we had went through it, and I got this big giant like clown comb. It's like this big ass comb. What do you need this big ass comb for? And why did they buy it from me as a souvenir? But I had this big ass clown comb. And so it was like a birthday of mine, and Pokemon had just came out. Everybody had their Game Boy Colors or whatever. And my God, somebody like I really always look forward to coming over my daddy house every time I went over there. Uh, he he knew the code for the Pokemon, where it's like you do this code and you get to like these little things, so you can level up your Pokemon without having to do all the work. So I just got Pokemon. He been playing it. He know the code. So like every time I need the code, because I didn't caught a new Pokemon, I'm trying to level my Pokemon up. I'm like, hey bro, throw the code back in there again. Instead of like learning the code, I get in a Game Boy and then he'll, put the code in for me. And now, got the game probably on a Friday. I'm at my buddy house for the weekend. So, Saturday night, Sunday morning, D like, bro, like I'm tired of putting this code in for you, bro. Like I don't want to put this code in no more. So I give it to him one more time. I'm like, hey, bro, can you put the code in? I got a new Venusaur or whatever whatever Charmander. I need to turn him into a Charizard. And he's like, bro, I don't want to do it. Mind you, we like, I don't know, 9, 10. He's like, I don't want to do it right now. And I remember feeling in my spirit like the pause, and then feeling the offense, and it felt like you supposed to be my friend. And then I got the clown comb and I hit him with it. And he never came back. He never came back. We bumped into each other as grown-ups, like maybe like 5, 7 years ago. And I apologize. I'm like, bro, like, I missed you after that. I didn't know how to like, I don't know what that was. Yeah, that sucks that I did that. And I think about that shit all the time. And he's like, bro, boy, you probably not even think about that. You might have even forgot. But like, I felt I had to apologize for that. But I needed him to be what I needed him to be. And if he wasn't that, then he offended me. You're not being what I need you to be. And that still is in me now to this day, where it's like, if I call you and you don't pick up the phone, if you the answer for me, then now fuck you. You're not doing what you supposed to be doing. But yeah, so I'm just in a space where I am balancing out the the need to lean on my tribe, as well as the understanding that my tribe is not the answer, but they are the side effect of the work that I did before I even met my tribe. And so like leaning back into the work, not even back into it. I think leaning into it in a way of which my life is forcing me to lean into it, because like obviously life thinks I'm more grown than I think I am. And really prioritizing building something that can sustain me if Liz doesn't pick up the phone, because that makes
Yeah.
me a better person when Liz does pick up the phone, and somebody who, can benefit from Liz picking up the phone in a you know, eh, the Buddha sent me in a non-attached way.
Because that was the word that I was thinking of too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So nothing.
Yeah. So nothing. Yeah. I think it's just, well, first of all, sorry that you're going through this time where life is requiring things of you that are so uncomfortable. And I know that, I hear you in that you're having the experience with gratitude and all that it's giving, but like also, you're my friend and I care about you and I don't want you to have to be uncomfortable. and also that's not a thing that I could fix for you, but I wish that it could be easier, and that I wish I could fix it. And the times that you do call, I love that you call, and I feel this way about all the people that I love. Like, it's just so interesting because it's a forever balancing, right? There's the element of exactly like you said, if you have the expectation that I'm going to do this thing and it's going to fix it, whether that's call a person or I don't even know, quit a job or something, and that's all my problems are going to be gone. That's like a fool's errand because that's, an expectation that a thing that is within you is going to feel better because of something that's outside of you. And also, when you're able to approach solutions, coping mechanisms, comforts in a way that's the goal, right? This is going to help me get through this moment. This is going to, make me feel better. This is, whatever. Like it actually makes those tools, I think, even stronger because the times that you ask your friend for support is an invitation for them to reach out when they need support and have that same kind of, I think, clarification on the relationship where it's like, I'm not calling you to fix this. I'm just calling you because, that's just what friends can do for each other. And the self-awareness, really just like what we were talking about with the Jay Shetty thing, it's like, it's the internal work. That's the most important part, the self-awareness that like, am I leaning on this person as like, with an expectation of the outcome and like them being just something I'm using to get on the other side of this? Or is this just another way that, I do life with the tools that I have and I'm strengthening them by using them in an appropriate way, and that's okay too. Like, it's not a bad thing when you call your friends. Like, you're not, wussing out when you like lean on somebody or something to feel better. It's just an awareness.
Yeah, yeah, and those who've gotten to know me or us, like between Liz and I may be the intense one, but I just gotta make sure that I keep that in check because there can be this thing where it's like you ever go through something really tough and then go to your go-to thing, like I don't know, maybe you all could relate to like a Netflix binge or like ice cream and something that previously like would have let the tears come down and like would have just felt soothing in a way to where it's like, okay, I just needed to slow down and just needed a little scoop of ice cream. I just need to like just watch this show and just be mindless. You ever go through something and turn to these things and it's like you've watched 100 episodes. Netflix is like, are you still watching this? Because like, are you okay? Do we need to call somebody? Like you get the special message from Netflix.
I don't think
or,
Netflix actually cares as much as you're projecting onto them, but wouldn't that be nice?
or you eat the ice cream and it don't taste like anything. Like it literally tastes like nothing, and not even a whole tub of ice cream can solve what it is that like you're looking for it to do. Like I can get that same energy when it's like I'm going through something and then I call people and I just had to keep it in check because like if I'm not aware of that, then I'm like, that's just unfair to everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just unfair to
Hmm.
everybody because people will give you feedback or people the whole space and it's just like this isn't it. And it's like, well, what is, and I'm still kind of working to figure what that is out in this season. But I know that I've hit that wall a couple of times recently where it's like, maybe it's good you didn't pick up, or
Yeah.
maybe I don't pick up the phone and call this person right now. Maybe this is a time I need to sit. A big thing for me right now is solitude, silence, and sleep, and I'm working on it. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I just wanted to share that because I know that you all may be listening and it's like, hey, how could I cultivate the best relationships that'll support me? How could I have these things that I've seen other people have? Why don't I have it? And there was times where I would have sought out a show like ours with those same questions and the things that I'm saying now, I'm saying these things to the me that would have been tuning into this show looking for answers to those questions. And it's like, hey, friends aren't the answer. Relationships aren't the answer. They're a side effect. They're a side effect of, you know, our our process of becoming and unfolding into the person that we are.
Yeah.
The quality of relationships that I've continued to attract and maintain have been in alignment with the quality of person that I am. And that's just been an interesting discovery.
Yeah. 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 And I think that's the, I don't know, the tapestry of it all, right? It's because sometimes there isn't an answer and it's just all part of life. And sometimes there's a thing that feels very broken that actually you don't even have to fix. You just live through it. And then it's just part of the tapestry of life. And that's challenging in this world of fixes
No.
where you can do a lot of things that there's a lot of metaphorical bowls of ice cream out there that promise something that don't always scratch the itch, if you will.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
more in you.
heard. And if there was a desire to connect with Liz and I, we're working on something to scratch that itch ourselves. And so we're still figuring out exactly, how we're gonna flesh it out. Whether
I
we're
mean,
gonna
by the
do
time they hear this, it might be done. It might be like, look at that. Talk about quick fixes.
I mean, we actually are intuitive in that way. So I could see that. I could see that
Yeah.
being the case.
Yeah.
So maybe, that is the case right now where you could pop into the description of this podcast or, wherever you listen to podcasts at, and there is a way to be able to connect with us and share some of the things that you are experiencing in the realm of connection and friendship in your life. What are some of the challenges, the obstacles? Do you got a friend that you're trying to figure out? Do you got a friend that hurt you? Are you scorned? Let's talk about it. We want to have these moments of being able to show up for you all too, because at the end of the day, we're all friends here.
Here in the Friend Lab.
Yeah.
Cue jingle.
With that being said, we will catch you on the next episode of the Friend Lab. Until then.
See you later.